Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, Spawn's a little bit tilted here.
I will tell you why. I will legitimately tell you why. So Fish takes his jacket off while he casts. That's fine. He actually, you know, gets a little bit hot, gets a little bit excited. He's a Hulk. He doesn't want to bust out with the big guns. However, as you can see, he's a little bit disheveled at the moment. He tried to put it back on and somehow got this part of his jacket caught in his sleeve as he did so. And we had like stagehands running around, like kiddies trying to redress him. Production was like, do we have to go to a break? Like, what is going on? Can you not dress yourself? Fish, we're professionals. You're making us look bad. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, second time this week. Right, Benji put out a tweet a few days ago that I lost a battle with a sweater. He was absolutely right about that one too. Enough about me struggling to put clothes on. Let's get into this next champion select. Chiefs taking on Sin. Currently, Chiefs are at match point.
Ooh, and Chiefs have chosen blue side.
Ooh, shaking things up.
They have shaken things up.
They're trying to just end the game right here. Or is it Sin that picked
No, Chiefs are higher seed, so they get side selection games 1, 3, and 5.
Curious.
I think that's right, unless League Ops are going to start screaming at me. Yep. But I think that this is Mr. Coach Jish changing it up, and it's actually Sin that make the flex. They ban away Gragas from Spooks.
And then Elise. So, let's see what their final ban is going to be. With the Jace, as well as Fiora gone from blue side. Ah.
Makes sense. I mean, they're going to get double counter picks here. If the Chiefs are willing to pick Nah early, Jace does well in it in the laning phase, Fiora does well into it late game, get rid of both of them, and there's really not an answer that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yep, not much you can do.
And guess what? They first pick it.
Nah can be picked up here. Or Rakan.
Oh, Rakan. I reckon that's a risky draft.
This is
because
scary.
We've seen that the Chiefs are very good at scaling. Rakan scales well, but does not pick up Ardent Sensor until potentially third item. So the way I like to play Rakan, I'm a little bit of a Rakan connoisseur at the moment, is double movement speed items. So obviously that's your coin, your Righteous Glory, as well as the red sight stone. Then you can go Ardent Sensor after that. But you need your 2 movement speeds.
But Sin take away both Kalista as well as Cassiopeia very early.
Xayah Rakan is still available. I would expect them to go towards that in this round of picks, as well as potentially a jungle pickup like Jarvan to try and help out against the Cassio.
Xayah Rakan could be picked up here.
And interestingly enough, they stuck to the TF ban, which is a little bit confusing in this game, match point. Because if the Chiefs were going to show it, I don't feel like it's this game. I think the Chiefs have played pretty well standard 2 games in a row.
They have.
So they wouldn't really show something in this game that they hadn't otherwise.
And they lock in Galio.
Yeah, mid lane Galio. Swiffer's probably best champion.
Going against random, not Spooks.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I have seen Spooks play Swiffer in mid lane. Every time Spooks kills him, he runs around the gaming house. However, Galio into Cassiopeia is actually a pretty good matchup for Cassio early. Galio really does struggle.
Final pick for Sin could be their support.
Brawl makes a lot of sense.
And that gets locked in. So very similar team comp from Sin. Chiefs, as you mentioned, shaking things up.
So Braum's a good lane counter here because of the Xayah. I think Braum is actually a bad late game counter because he has to stand in front of FBI to protect him. And that just allows Ejim's job to become incredibly easy. And Ejim and Swiffer together can gain free access to the backline whenever the heck they want.
Sure can. The Chiefs, though, 3 bans towards Dokla.
Make it a 4th. Just keep going, boys.
So red side Sin, ban all the split pushes. Renekton and Nah taken off the table for Sin. That top lane champion pool is getting rather thin.
It's getting very thin. Actually, it's not. Rumble, Jarvan, Kled. There's still like 3 of them left. What else have we seen? That's all, really.
Nothing much else.
Trundle. There we go. Another
spin that as well. So Jarvan probably the pick here from Sin.
Has to be. It's the last real flex left.
Flexing in the final position looks good. Maybe the Chiefs want this. Maybe they're trying to push Sin towards a Jarvan pickup.
So they can take the Kled, you reckon?
Or the Sin throw the Gauntlet and say, you know what, we'll go Kled instead?
Nah, I don't think Dokla plays Kled. I haven't seen him play.
Neither have I, but it is Jarvan picked up. Still flex between Jews and Dokla.
Do they really throw the spanner in the work and put the Galio top lane?
Ooh. He should have an alright matchup as a Jarvan early.
Yep.
Later on, maybe not. But let's see. Chiefs now have to show the hand. What are they trying to accomplish with this draft?
Sejuani Rumble.
Was
what?
The first lock in?
Mr. Brandon Holland just said. Mr. Swiper just said Sejuani Rumble. So there we go.
Macca's locked in, so extra magic damage from the Rumble top side with Sejuani.
And I just gave away my secret of how I actually guess a lot of the drafts.
Read the lips.
Is I just actually sit there and look at what people are saying.
But Camille, the final pick for Sin. So Dokla on a split-pushing champion.
They banned away all of them. Somehow Camille still got through. Probably, I would say after all the nerfs, unless you're a really phenomenal Camille player, I would say she is the worst split pusher out of all of the ones that were banned.
But let's see. Dokla.
You guys, once again, Fish has done it. He's eating some sushi at the moment.
Going away.
So he's hitting his cough button, and then I stopped talking. So he looked at me, and I was like, yeah, you can talk. So then he talked with the cough button down. So you guys didn't hear.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Swan
sure
is,
you didn't. We've got a camera on us right now, mate.
As that camera's not recording, I've been told.
I will call for the full 12 rounds to be released.
But yes, Camille picked up by Dokla. He did win 2 games for Sin yesterday on Split Pushing Champions.
Yep, certainly did. And this should be an interesting game because we have, once again, a big team fighting comp out of the Chiefs, but maybe slightly less able to win the split push this time around.
Thank goodness.
However,
back at us.
It will be a little bit easier for them to get through laning phase. I feel like with the exception of mid lane, Chiefs have some pretty good lanes here right now.
They do. And again, all 3 games, Chiefs say, you know what? We're going to team fight. Oh,
One more.
He's a confident man, Big Swips. Bumped into him in the hall just before we went into game number 2. He just gave me the nod. That's it.
That's
Nothing
it.
else.
IWNL.
Just the nod.
Are you on his Snapchat list? I think I ask you this all the time.
No, I'm not on his Snapchat list, unfortunately. But I have seen his snaps because he puts them on Instagram as well.
He certainly does. He's a big fan of the I will not lose.
He's lost a lot of weight. Looking really strong now, Big Swips.
Yeah, honestly, if we talk about something not League of Legends for a second, he goes to the gym every single day, as do a lot of people in the OPL, but certainly have seen a transformation in him.
Juice as well over the years. Big transformation there. Looking really good. As Juves kicks the air. Yeah, get him!
Hopefully no Juves combos coming out here. Goes E, then Q.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Now Q, go.
He doesn't have it yet.
Oh,
Come on, you
unlucky.
Muppet.
If you don't have the talent to fight,
Camille, strange champion, has really good auto attack trades, obviously with double reset in the kit on one ability, as well as the fact that you can take the brief window whilst you have the shield up against magic damage when Rumble starts hitting you.
It's a good brawl on the top side of the map. And we've seen teams use it to team fight to some success.
Yeah, Direwolf's especially a good Camille team fighter. Habu, when he played it, pretty much just split pushed for the whole game from memory. This Tally had a game on it this split. He had a game on it last split against the Chiefs where he took their whole base before anyone really responded and then won them the game regardless.
Yeah, but when Camille was released, she was terrifying. I had to play against Chippy's Camille 1 week after it was released.
Okay, why did you ban it?
I did not get a ban. That was back when you only had 3 bans in solo here, and I was last pick. I had Rusty on my squad.
I blame you guys, though.
I stopped playing League of Legends for 2 weeks.
Actually, for Spooks here.
Gets all the Raptors.
So he's going to race topside.
All the mini Raptors, I should say.
Yep, so it looked like Swiffer actually Q and then auto attack them. That's the best leash you can get nearly in the game for the Raptors, because obviously double AoE abilities, as well as the fact that it does not take any. It's guaranteed to not take any.
Ooh, good trade from Swiper there.
Dokla is in a little bit of hot water here. You can see Juve's actually jungling very quickly as well, so that's not all bad news.
Spooks is on his way. They watered this, so they know it's started. Juves has not leashed us into the bush.
They know Juves is very low, however.
Almost, but Spooks not quite.
Will, however, go towards Raptors, it looks like, Fish. So see whether Juves actually contests him here.
He's waiting in the bush. Blast cone over. Now going to get locked out. Stun comes out. Good damage from Spooks. Juves, he's going to be forced away here.
Oh, he might be first blooded.
Flag drag
Oh,
away.
he's dead.
Red buff. First blood picked up by Spooks.
What great pathing out of Spooks. Able to pick up a solo kill in the jungle. Juve still had flash and everything available and still falls down. little bit unfortunate. Now he'll lose the entirety of the top side of his jungle if Spooks wants to stick around for this one. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Dokla as well.
Goodness.
See that Swiper is just burning him in the creep wave.
You have to remember the magic shield that Dokla gets.
Although
is only when he auto
overconfidence
attacks.
can be a little bit of a dangerous thing. Fish, let's go with that. I had a different saying set up, but
no, Juves gonna get locked down again by Spooks.
yeah, and now all of a sudden Swiper's under the turret. Needs to be careful with.
Ooh.
Oh, he's overheating. He's
Good
gonna kill him
damage!
as well.
Dokla almost dies. Oh no, Swiper, don't do
Swiper!
that. Swiper, no.
Death by a touch has actually just killed the top laner of the Chiefs. Spooks has to flash on Juves.
Gets
one
the
more
stun.
auto.
Bing. Bop him. No, Juves, don't do that.
No,
Oh,
Spooks
no.
is dead as well. This is
is-
disastrous for the Chiefs. They've just given Dokla 2 kills and double buff.
And they're fighting bottom lane as well. What the heck? Why is it every time in the OPL that dive just goes horribly wrong?
Yeah, they just shouldn't have gone for it. They got everything they wanted. They would have been able to force Dokla back. He had no health, no mana left available. Spooks had taken away the entire top side of the jungle. Now all of a sudden, they give an assist over to Juves, and they give a 2-kill gold lead to Dokla, who is absolutely massive. I'm having flashback of flares right now.
He's got double buff. Oh, this is disgusting. He's going to go back to base, shop. I wonder how much gold he has to spend.
1200, he's going to come back with a Sheen.
My goodness, that's a disaster.
So
Looking like
now
a
the
great early
pressure
game.
is on Spooks to get level 6 as soon as possible and go peg and ult at Dokla. That's literally what he has to do. In saying that, oh, he doesn't get a Sheen. He goes for the wave clear. So worried about being pushed in. I feel like I'm not a great Camille player, and I haven't seen a lot of it in pro play. However, Chippies, I'm sure you're watching. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when you're ahead, Sheen is the usual pickup.
Tiamat still gives you that auto attack reset. That can help a lot with damage and base AD as well.
You can see that Spooks was trying to come into the bottom lane, did run over a ward there.
Ouch. Stop it. Dokla. Don't hurt the poor guy.
However, that's a winning trade for Swiper.
Swiper's trading quite well.
Ryoma heading up top lane with 3 members. Swiper, you have to get out. There's 3 of them there. Swiffer trying to race towards level 6 potentially.
Ryoma does go back.
So Swiffer got level 6, which means this play becomes a little bit harder to execute upon here.
Yep. Spix hits level 5 in the jungle. Juice is trying to take away Gromp. Oh no, Raze tagged up by Winter's Bite. Good knock on from Ejim. Here we go. Galio in the bottom lane forces a flash out of FBI. They knock up Rogue. But no more shield from him and not enough range from Swiffer.
Yeah, get the flash out of FBI. Potentially a return gate can come out, especially if Spooks gets level 6. However, Sin still hold on to their lead. Ooh!
Up you go. Ignites down and FBI's dead. Redemption for the bottom lane of the Chiefs.
I mean, they cheated. They brought an extra member down. I still feel like Sin. That would feel a little bit cheesed in that one again. However, does get the kill on over to Raze and gives them a strong part of the map. You know, we already said that top lane's going to get a little bit harder now, given the fact that Dokla was able to grab those 2 early kills and the double buff. Big Swips has done all right. He gets himself, you know, a little bit of a gold lead. Dokla looking to freeze that wave now. See whether Swiper actually teleports back to the wave. It's not going to actually freeze. You only left 3 caster creeps there, so it will push back. Turns out he's pretty good at the game.
Blue buff is started here by Spooks.
Needs to
Wants
be
to give it
smited
to
by him.
Juves doesn't have his own smite. Wins a ward, gets it. Now they're trying to collapse. Spooks taking quite a bit of damage. Flash, ultimate coming out from the Snake Lady. They get 1.
They might get 2 here.
Swiffer's in trouble. Does have flash. Taunt comes through. FBI's here with the slow. Flashes to Ejim. No one follows through. So they will get the blue buff, but Spooks dies for it.
Yeah, so a risky invade because Ejim had stuck around a little bit quicker out of the gates, actually. He'd gone back and picked up the Boots 3, or Boots 5, whatever you want to call them. Whereas on the other end, let's talk about that later.
On top of Swiper. Good damn. Oh, no. Cancelled the auto attack. That's a big chunk of damage coming out from the W.
Yeah, it certainly is, but you can see 3 members heading into Swiper's jungle. Doesn't have the ultimate to drop, has already dropped it on one of the last creep waves, Fish. So needs Spooks to come into his lane and help him out.
You can see Swiper playing so far away from the turret. Spooks now on his way. Rogue and FBI still posturing aggressively. pushes back in as the turret collapses, and Dokla just jumps away.
I actually like how respectively Swiper has played both games 1 and 3 when it's come to turret dives. He's known that one of the ways these guys win the game is by Dokla getting incredibly far ahead. And whilst Dokla played game 4 very well yesterday, to die 6 times in a one-on-one situation, the other top laner has to have done something wrong, Fish. And you could see that as soon as Spooks checked his jungles for him, Swiper was happy to walk back towards the turret and happy to start CSing. We always call Rumble a low econ top laner. That doesn't mean he doesn't like having gold. He does better with gold than without. Every champion in the game does. There is no champion in the game it is better to not have gold on. However, he does quite fine with low amounts as long as he gets towards a couple of penetration items.
And Equalize is a big ability as well. Dokla, however, needs to pick up gold on the split pushing champion. You'd have to expect 2 items come around, and it's very difficult then for Swiper to take him on.
I actually kind of like the fact that Spooks hasn't forced the issue top lane as well. I said that, you know, you kind of owe a gank if you give over double buff when level 6 hits. Spooks hasn't subscribed to that theory. Instead, he's just said, I can pressure other parts of the map. I'm going to continue trying to beat Juves around. You can see 18 CS is the lead. Not really an experienced lead, however, so you don't really know if that's going to eventuate him much. But they put 4 members down into bottom lane. Swiffer was in ulti territory. Spooks in a little bit of trouble now.
Taking some damage, but perfectly fine. That turret down to half health now. Juice wanted to make his way into the bottom lane, but cut off by Ejim and Spooks.
And now we're seeing kind of what Sim were talking about. When Bensel said Twisted Fate gives them a way out of some of their early game mistakes, I think that they mean the over-aggressiveness in the bottom lane, because you can see once again, Ray's actually had to flash, but they're going in for this one.
Spooks throws out the ultimate, flashes for it as well. FBI gets locked down, no flash available for him. Charm comes out of Ejim as well as the knock-up, and FBI dies. Rogue is going to be able to survive, but as you're right, Swiffer's dead. Juves did interrupt his teleport, gets a kill, 1 for 1.
Yeah, exactly right. So that was Swiffer's teleport going off, not Swiper's. Wanted to be the first one there. You can see that they caught him during the act, and that means that he will fall down. However, first turret might fall in the bottom lane if the Chiefs decide to stick around. Single gold over to Raze for this turret is huge. We've already seen what he can do on this champion when he's down how much gold? All of a sudden, he is going to start accelerating in this game.
XD. Raze snowballing ahead. Swiper slightly behind top side, but doing okay against Dokla for now. In fact, taking it to it there. I mean, turret shot comes through.
The other thing is that Swiper has been... We expect solo carry Swiper to come out sometime. This game, he just walked mid lane, dropped an equalizer on mid, made sure they couldn't match the turret pressure. Swiffer had already fallen down, trying to do the team thing and teleporting in, so Swiper covered his lane for a little bit, gave up some pressure topside, but he knows that the only way Dokla gets out of control is to continue to kill him, and he's not letting that happen.
So Chiefs now 700 golden lead in game 3. Their first early game lead against Sin.
See if the reverse happens. This is what I'm excited about. Now, we kept talking about Sin's early game, and oh, Dokla might look to be engaged here.
It's a low sweep, but not much damage. He did the knock up.
That's through a Hex Drinker Fish.
It's painful. He's going back in.
Got Jarvan here.
Spotted out by a ward, and Swiper's okay. He's 2 levels up over Juves. Spooks going to use this time to take down the Mountain Dragon.
Juves, on the other hand, going to look towards a Rift Herald again. I believe in all 3 games, Sin has got Rift Herald.
Yep.
Probably a good thing for the Chiefs. They haven't been able to embarrass themselves for the objective today. Although they might look to fight this one. They've just spotted it out, 3,000 health. Or maybe they just look for priority over the mid lane instead, Fish.
So, the rest of the Chiefs running through mid lane. Juice being spotted out. Mid lane turret's going to fall. No one on the Chiefs, sorry, from Sin can get there in time.
Look at Juice. He wants something here. Teleport can come in from behind them. They're waiting for the overstay, but it did not happen. So Ejim had a ward in that Raptor camp and knew exactly where they were. That's why the Chiefs were sitting so far towards bottom side of mid. We're going to see, once again, Swiffer try and pick himself up the enemy blue buff.
Much better.
He's wall stuck between Bristle and the wall.
Much better early game from the Chiefs, though. This is kind of what we expected from them throughout this series.
But this is the first time they've picked for early game, right? as T-Gun said, when you grab yourself an Ardent Sensor 80 carry and the Ardent Sensor support, you're expecting to fall behind a little bit. I don't think it was this much. You can see right now that their Sin Gaming lineup has stacked on top side of the map. They're trying to take a blue as well as top lane turret. Split objective focus, good costume.
Here comes Superman, jumps down, Juice gets uppercutted and taken down. Ultimate throw towards Ryoma. Good ultimate from the Snake Lady, but just running over the Equalizer. I'm a Snake, follow me, we'll die. Swiper gets that kill.
Yeah, and as I said, split focus on objective. Do we want the blue buff? Do we want top lane turret? In the end, you get both of them, but you lose 2 members, and with a couple of people dead, this all of a sudden means the Chiefs can maybe look to answer in the top lane, although Dokla gets a lot of damage down here, Fish, so could be a couple of turrets going over to Sin as well.
Dokla wants it, but Swiper's here. He'll be able to push out this wave, and
No ultimate available for Swiper, so he can't play too aggressive. Here we go. Oh, Swiffer, that's a wall. I said it was his most played champion. I didn't say it was his best.
Rogue's in trouble here. Knock up from Medium, gets behind him, gets FBI as well, forces the ultimate out of Rogue. Red buff.
Juve's got it. All right. Juve just walks in and says, get your stinking paws off my
He outsmarted Levi.
Spooks didn't have smite, you idiot.
He outsmarted Levi still.
He did. That is a factual statement, Fuchs. Fish.
But I'm really impressed with Swiper in this match. We've already said that he's trying to become a carry for the Chiefs. He stepped up. This is a really good laning phase for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, especially given the fact that he was against double buff. The impressive thing for me is if you guys go back and rewind this game, I didn't mention it, but maybe we have half a second before Juves dies. No, we don't. All right. Juves has to be able to flag drag out. Gets it.
Get him! Oh.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is a little thing. When Dokla got double buffs, Swiper didn't rage teleport back to lane. What I mean by that is most of the time when people die, they instantly shop, they wait for themselves to come back alive in solo queue, then they just instantly teleport back to lane, you know? I can't miss anything, I'm already so far behind. What that does is it means you have to fight the person with double buffs for the maximum duration, which sucks. What Swiper did is he let one wave crash, walked back topside, and then he could have, if he needed to, also backed away and got a second recall during the double buff duration to be able to fight Dokla if it had been needed. It wasn't needed this game, but because he kept his TP, that was the potential play on the cards, which is pretty impressive when you think about it.
And he sent CS up over Dokla. So that kill, practically even now, topside map, with 3 turrets picked up as well.
Yeah, definitely the turrets doing majority of that heavy lifting. See Juice trying to give a helping hand to Dokla with a deep Rift Herald.
Run, Harold.
Thought we had this conversation yesterday.
Run, Helga.
There we go. Chiefs potentially looking for an engage in mid lane. You can see Swiffer cheating into Fog of War, trying to get the ulti out.
It's a much slower game though. We saw a lot of action early, but now mid game.
I mean, 10 kills in 16 minutes isn't bad.
It's still very. Oh, Helga.
Didn't even get to hit a turret.
Had one purpose on the Rift, couldn't do it. Unlucky. But as this game goes on, Swiper's going to continue split pushing. It looks like the Chiefs are going to settle to group up in the mid lane.
Yep, the Chiefs actually have a really cool 1-3-1 in the fact that it doesn't pressure turrets well, but it pushes turrets pushes waves very quickly, then threatens these kinds of collapses. So you can see Ejim, if he wanted to, could have ultied engaged straight away.
Ooh, one-on-one bottom lane. Dokla gonna jump out of his ultimate. Swiffer lends a helping hand, flashes on him. Swiper's tanking up the turret, jumps away. Dokla will get the knockback onto Swiffer. He will die. Everyone for the Chiefs collapsing in underneath this inner turret, but no one else from Sin is here to fight.
And that's what I said, their collapse is so quick. Swiffer wants in again. This time they're gonna fight.
Bryce Ejim, Paul jumps in the backlines, gets a nice knock-up, charms up 3, keeps them held there for a while. He'll die, but look at Raze. He gets 1 kill. The rest of Sin want to collapse, but they just can't.
Yeah, exactly right. Chiefs get the 2-for-1 special, pick up a turret on the way out as well. And it just looks like Sin are playing too far from the back foot. They've fallen behind in the early game. Chiefs have already shown that in this series today, they are the better team fighters. And for the first time in a split in a little bit, the Chiefs are looking to actually beat a top 4 OPL team in a best-of series, Fish.
They want to send this to the El Clasico. Swan, Chiefs versus Legacy, if they can get the victory here today. Doka falls here and the Chiefs collapse nicely.
Yeah, they certainly do. I mean, they're just willing to burn a little bit more. They burn double flashes to pick up the initial kill. Also an ult there. But the big thing for me is just the fact of the Chiefs' team comp collapses quicker. They've got control over the forest area. They've got teleport that can come in from both Swiper as well as Swiffer, and the Justice entrance, the grand entrance. Sure, a little bit too far from Egypt in my opinion, but he did keep them away from the turret for a very long time, Fish, and it meant that Raze could chase down another kill.
Very flashy from Raze. Literally jumps over the fat part of the wall, chases down Juice, gets the kill for himself.
Yep.
Make sure that Egypt's sacrifice is not in vain. Now 5,000 gold lead for the Chiefs with double Mountain Dragon.
And Egypt has been in 7 of the 8 kills at the moment, as has Spooks.
Oh no, he's about to win the Rakan war on Rakan.
He certainly is.
Poor Rogue. He's not going to be able to use the only skin Rakan has at the moment.
Cosmic Dawn Rakan up for grabs, as well as the fact that I think Shockblade Z plus Chromas was also on this game. That's going to hurt solo queue more than it hurts competitive play. It really is going to.
I mean,
they're hoping
gives
for
them +1 dex, so...
I mean, Ryom is hoping for a huge Z nerf to come in, just so it's an empty victory for Chiefs.
Probably not going to happen anytime soon. But it's now 6,000 gold lead for the Chiefs. Baron's going to spawn in 30 seconds of bolt. This is a much more clinical game.
This is how we thought Chiefs were going to play, actually,
Yes.
Fish. You know, get ahead early in lanes, continue to bully around, be the slow, methodical, patient team that we're used to seeing in their best of 5s. And I think that if you're Direwolves and Legacy, you don't get, you know, scared of this, but you think we're going to have to play the Chiefs at least playing their game now. Not the sloppy Chiefs that we've seen during regular season. It's still going to be very close for all the teams, but Chiefs are proving that they're back to playing at their best in League of Legends.
And even if Chiefs get a sweep here today, 3-0, hats off to Sin. They played their hearts out game 1 or 2. In game 3, they're trying to stay in it now. Very far behind, but good early games again.
Yeah, I mean, they're the people's team, Sin. No one likes watching Sin lose. Like, normally, if you're a fan of another team, like you're a fan of the Chiefs, you generally like watching them pump other teams. I genuinely think Sin are a fantastic organization. I think that they've put this year together with a couple of rookies, and they should really celebrate the success they've had. Even if it ends here, which it might not because it's still only 20 minutes into Game 3, and the clean sweep is going to be hard to achieve for Chiefs. They should definitely be proud of their first international tournament this year, as well as how far they've come as a team.
I'm excited to see more from these players, especially the legacy players of FBI and Roma. After this split, so to speak.
Yep. Here we
Here
go.
goes Egypt. Wants the big initiation. Gets Juice around the miasma for the triple charm and knockup. What the heck? Ben Rakan against this man. Great equalizer. Big talk coming out from Swiffer as well. 1 by 1, Sin are going to fall. And that could potentially be game spawn. Ryma's going to jump down as well. Dokla is trying to do something in the backlines. Swiffer somehow lives. Gets a heal as well. 4 kills picked up by the Chiefs.
Yeah, and they're flashing over the wall. Dokla will fall as well eventually, and it's just not enough. Sin give it their all, but the Chiefs are going to be able to pick up the first inhibitor. Death time is still very low, but they're looking to end. Swiffer wants a recall as well as a teleport. I think they just might go towards Baron Fish.
Potentially. Swiffer's gone back to base, so I thought he was going to teleport in towards the Nexus, but with Jews respawning, FBI coming up now.
I actually think they're too low for anything. I think that the right call is to reset for Vision. That was a very good team fight. It's now 10,000 gold, the lead for the Chiefs Esports Club. And you're right. I mean, he's terrifying. Ejim's Rakan. He gets hit up here. Miasma doesn't stop him. Gets into the backline. Gets 3. Has to force the cleanse as well as a flash out of Ryoma so he doesn't get hit by that grand entrance. But if you're going to let through Galio, you got to ban Rakan, because how easy was that for Swiffer to just disrupt the whole of the backline?
And if you don't believe that Swiper is now a carry player top side of the map, just go watch that team fight again. He had a fantastic equalizer. Comboed out with Swiffer fantastically for the taunt as well. And the Chiefs are on fire. 10,000 gold up, 22 minutes into the game.
Yeah, exactly right. You can see how confident they are. They're just moving through the jungle right now of Sin, looking for any opportunity they can find to take another pick. Oh, he's already mad-lifed him.
Oh, no.
It feels bad, man. Obviously, it's much easier with Flag and Drag than it is with Flash, because you can just W to the flag, but that was very nicely played by Ejim nonetheless.
Barrett has now been started by the Chief. Juves, he's still calling some shots, but hands on his head right now. He knows this is a dire situation.
Certainly does. On the verge of being swept out of the OPL Gauntlet. Dokla still split pushing bottom. Will Garrett his second turret of the game. Certainly not the carry performance that we saw out of the young man yesterday, but still a fairly decent series nonetheless, Fish. And the Chiefs, I mean, this is all about redemption. This is a team that people were saying were past it, were washed up, not even top 4 team. To storm into the Gauntlet like this has got to lift their spirits, has got to give them hopes that they can go to Worlds this year, at least to secure that legacy that they have in the OPL.
And they want to end it right here. Look at Egypt go again, straight in the back lines. Everyone dies to this equalizer, and that's all over. With 3 members dead, Baron buff and minions in the base, Juves just dances.
Now, I mean, there's nothing else you can do. Raze is going to look for a cheeky kill, but it will be the Chiefs just picking up the Nexus turret, and they're going to book El Clasico tomorrow with Legacy.
Chiefs versus Legacy coming up tomorrow. They've done it 3-0 for the Chiefs. They want to represent Oceania, and they're going to try and fight their way through the Gauntlet.
Couple of wry smiles on their face. Couple of head pats, couple of hugs. Chiefs not looking too jubilant. They know that they have to get through another best of 5 with their old-time foes, Legacy. Then, if they do get through, or if Legacy does, Direwolves. I mean, how good is it as a Direwolves? You just sit at home, Fish. You probably fire up this. Tomorrow you watch the McGregor versus Mayweather fight, then you probably watch a little bit of OPL as well. And then you're enjoying it. You're thinking they have to come at us next Saturday after showing all of these drafts.
I just realized how much of a treat tomorrow it is going to be. Conor versus Floyd Mayweather, and then Chiefs versus Legacy. What a day. That's for Sin.
That's shattering, honestly.
That's got to hurt. I mean, games 1 and 2, how well they performed.
I mean, Sin fans, get on Twitter. Let your team know how much you love them, because they've had a very good split. They're legitimate contenders. It didn't go their way today, but that is not a series indicative of just how good Sim gaming is. You give them another day, you give them another series, you could definitely see different results from Sim. 100%. However, today is what counts. And congratulations to the Chiefs Esports Club. They came in today. They took care of business. We already said in the Gauntlet, it is so important to be able to clean up the teams early on in very quick fashion. You don't want to give anything away. And today, Chiefs did exactly that. And that must give them such a big boost. You can see Juves just looks absolutely shattered. Hugs all around from everybody. Yeah, they're actually really good friends, these two teams. I mean, that's why the banter is always so fun when they play against each other. Obviously, they want to win. No one wants to lose in League of Legends, Fish. Losing sucks. However, unfortunately, that is the case. Yeah, Chiefs were just a better team here today, and they will go up against Legacy tomorrow. El Clasico, the best 5 series. For now, though, to round up the game, round up the day, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Spawn. And Chiefs victorious today, 3-0 over Sin. No reverse sweep, and Chiefs will face Legacy tomorrow. Curious, just very quickly before we go to the interviews, give me your thoughts on that final match.
That was just clean from the Chiefs. Like, they've got a very good team comp. It's actually a 2-man comp in Rakan and Galio. Rakan goes in, Galio, GG. Yeah.
Tegan?
Spot on. I don't know how they got Rakan Zaya, but that's exactly what happened. Rakan goes in, scoops up 4 of them. Galio comes in, saves the day, puts them all in the air, and there's nothing Sin can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Sin, Spawn was shouting at their praises during that game. They've built so much this year, and this team has gone to Rift Rivals. They've gone internationally for the first time. Did OS proud, did the OPL proud.
Absolutely.
Came back and put up a fight today in the early game of both of those first 2 matches. In the third as well, but unfortunately not enough today. Standing by with Serian right now is top laner for the victorious Chief Swiper. So let's check in with them for the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Big Swips. He said he wasn't going to lose, and he didn't. How confident were you heading into this series, and were you expecting it to be such a swift 3-0?
I mean, we've had a shaky split, but I think our practice this week has been really productive, and yeah, I've been more proud of the boys, and we're all super pumped going in tomorrow, and yeah, we're going to Worlds. We are.
You had that amazing play in game 1 where you flash and ulted into Sin. What was running through the team comms when you realised you could turn the game around right there and then?
I mean, I do that play every game. So whenever we're on Nah, you see me coming in, I'm coming with a big Swoops ult. So nah, don't give me Nah. Don't give me Nah.
This has been called your redemption split. Can you talk to us about what it would mean to you to be able to make it to the grand finals?
I mean, we view this split as sort of our one of our last hurrahs. So like all of us want Worlds really badly, and like there's nothing else other than like the Worlds is on our eyes, and there's nothing else. So like we're gonna give it our all, and hopefully we win.
Well, congratulations on today's win, Swiper, and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks.
There we go. Ban Nah is the message coming out of Big Swips after that performance today. 3 games, and I mean, look, there's been a lot of ban champion memes throwing around today, but I feel like Swiper's Nah is up there.
Definitely. I mean, at first we all said like Chiefs is looking to get Swiper on the Nah because that's one of the reasons they pick Red Side, right? And I mean, game 1, game 2,
Do you
huge
think,
Nah plays.
well, Tally plays Lucian, doesn't he?
Yeah, don't think we'll see it.
No?
But definitely there. It's one of those champions where it, at least in my eyes, it never feels ban-worthy, but it always feels important. So I'm not sure how Legacy will look to deal with it, but it's definitely a question left for them. But with all the other things they might have to ban, Sin showed today, TF and Morgana might be issues. Hard to weigh the priorities.
No, I'm saying it right now. You know, Big Brain Lucio, he watched today, he watched versus the Direwolves last week. He's like, Tally, get on that Lucian now. We're making it happen. Anyway, standing by with Sarian right now is Jungler for the Chiefs Spooks. So let's check in with them after that victory.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here with Spooks. Congratulations on the win. The Chiefs roster has been together for so long now, except for Rays, and you've had so much domestic and international experience. Do you feel as though that works in your favour coming into such a stressful situation like the Gauntlet?
I think I'd say yes and no. I think we've had some problems, especially last split, where like I feel like that having that experience has been like made us kind of overthink every game, and we're kind of toning it back and taking like I guess a more simple approach to our matches now. I think there is an aspect of like being a rookie and having nothing to lose, where like people feel I guess a bit more free to move. But no, like I think right now we're in a really good mindset for Gauntlet.
We had some shaky moments this split as well, including the whole Rift Herald saga. But do you feel as though the team's found their footing and it's starting to come back together again?
Yeah, look, I've got E-Gym's got my back on the Rift Herald. I obviously can't manage it. It's just too hard. It's like when I play Lee Sin, you know. I got a few things that I need to fix, but no, you know what? My team's got my back through my flaws, and hopefully I've got their backs through theirs. So.
Tomorrow you'll be going up against Legacy. Have you got any thoughts heading into that match?
I think with Legacy, it's obviously a lot different to playing Sin, because Sin are like a lot more dynamic early, and they rely. I'd say they're a bit more reliant on snowballing early, whereas Legacy is almost the opposite. They're like very slow early game. They're very methodical, so I think it's gonna be on our terms whether we win or lose the match.
Well, congratulations on today's win, Spooks, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Sarian there, just roasting Spooks, roasting Big Sammy.
I mean, there we have it. That's why Sin got the Rift Herald all 3 games.
Absolutely, because Chiefs are like, look, we don't need this.
We don't need
Hands
it.
off, we can't take it.
Is it we don't need it or we don't want it?
Yeah, we don't want
That's
it.
the question.
It's just going to take far more Swiffer if we get it anyway.
It's a message to Riot. It's like, get this Herald out of the Summoners Rift. You know? I can't manage it.
But we also saw in that interview, Spook saying, look, we're trying to play with a more simple approach now compared with how they were playing maybe earlier in the split. So, you know, having watched these guys all split, can you identify what you think is that simple approach they're looking towards now?
I mean, these few games, it felt like they were trying to play through bot lane and through scaling bot lanes, taking Ardent Center a few games, taking Xayah Rakan, which is just a pretty simple lane to play. So maybe it comes down to, instead of trying early game aggression, just sort of things that pop up early game, they've moved towards scaling into the mid game and late game. Galio, another prime example of something that does really well late game. That's at least what I would look towards.
I mean, this is just like very natural League of Legends, right? You win, like you don't win the game in the first 20, or you win the game kind of in goal leading things, but you don't break their nexus.
Yes.
In like 10 minutes into the game, right?
No,
that just doesn't happen.
10 minutes
right?
into the game.
Yeah. So so they've drafted comps, you know, not perfectly again, but like they definitely directing towards that mid late game plays. So like. If we bring up the 2 replays, you'll see like their comp is just so straightforward. They will just go in and you know, get a team fight done. We win, then we do it. Well, we win, then we get objectives. We lose, we reset, rinse and repeat. Right?
Yeah.
So you look at this fight, and like it's so simple. You've got Rakan ulting in, forces the flash from FBI very early on, and then he was like, "Nope, we're committing. We just go in." nearly gets an ace, I believe.
Yeah.
And then they got an inhibitor of that, and then they just rinse and repeat. Later on in the top lane, the replay is going to follow.
So they recall at that point, but that's because they feel like if they keep chasing there and trying to end the game, that's a risk for them they're not willing to take. So they just want to repeat this team fight, like you're saying.
Yeah, like there's no answer from Sin to this initiation. Like what can they do?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, you know, knockup is one of the most difficult to counter CZ in this game.
I say that as a Kalista main. I know exactly what you mean. Kalista on bot lane, most powerful bot lane in O's right now. Knockups for days, Tiga.
It's also, they just want to do the safe thing, which is go get Baron and reset. You can try to do the hyphy thing and finish there and might have a little bit of success, but every player knows base, get Baron. It's a little bit more boring, but it's just almost 100% confirmed that you're going to win the game if you take it the safe, standard, slow way.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it wasn't a perfect game out of the Chiefs, and looking forward to how they have to play Legacy tomorrow. Legacy are going to be looking at weaknesses for them to exploit. So, T-Gun, I mean, let's talk about some of the things that Chiefs were potentially imperfect with this last
absolutely.
game.
I mean, the game didn't start there, right? It started with some great early aggression by Spooks, which turns into this, without a better word to describe it, absolute fiesta. Swiper gets minion blocked, gets out, comes back into the tower and dies to it. Spooks is now stuck between a Jarvan and a Camille, which not very fun. Takes a tower hit himself. Nope, sorry, two of them. And I'm going to be honest, when I was upstairs watching this, I was just thinking, it's happening. It's happening.
This is how it ends.
Sin are going to do it because of what Chiefs did. Because we normally expected Sin to play the early aggressive style, but Chiefs trying to bring it to them. And that was a point where I was like, oh, this is a bit sketchy. But it was also showing Chiefs, while we were saying they have a weak early game, can play the aggressive early game that they might need to do against Legacy tomorrow.
So 3-0 the result for today for Chiefs. And tomorrow they will go on to face Legacy. So looking at the drafts we saw today, a lot of priority put around getting Zyra Khan, banning out a lot of supports. Is that the same kind of meta we're going to see tomorrow versus Legacy, T-Gun?
Absolutely, and one thing I want to say I'm pretty disappointed in is Chiefs first picked Rakan, and Sin answered without taking Xayah. Now, FBI is a great Kalista. Probably the best in Oceania, unlucky hingers, and I'm sure Vicarious might agree.
Brutal
but
roasting from me. All right.
My problem is, we said before the games even started today, when you take Rakan, you're kind of forcing the opponents into taking Xayah because it's such a strong lane and such a strong combination. And for Sin to just sort of drop the ball there, it was just a little weak from them.
So you think that Legacy potentially will put priority on, Draven like they did previously, or potentially, they're going to be taking the Kalista, that Xayah as well.
I think they'd take the Xayah. Vicarious, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, that was great. I think Chiefs was drafting very standard, I think, whereas Sin, they were trying something kind of special. Maybe they know something from scrims or anything, because the TF ban may be necessary, maybe not. But like in Game 3, you see they switched out the Morgana ban into Gragas ban. But when you look about the broad picture, right, you've got Kalista open, you've got Rakan open, Xayah open, Cassiopeia, you've got Gragas if you don't ban it. So that, and then of course Maokai was not mentioned at all in this three games.
Very interesting. And we know that Legacy want to play Maokai as well, because they've wanted to play it in the past.
There's just so many champions that can be that is actually left open. That it's kind of puzzling to see actually, like Rakan and then just Kalista, Cassio, and then giving the Rakan Xayah bot lane duo.
I will say the one thing I'm happy that we saw today is Ardent Sensor supports coming in. I know Ejim's been a big fan of it. If you follow his Twitter, he's maybe fan isn't even the right word because of how much he doesn't like it.
It's almost sarcastic.
But he understands how strong it is on both Lulu, Janna. Maybe that's why the Morgana is being banned, because you can build it on Morgana. You take Bond of Stone, and because Ardent Sensor procs off of Bond of Stone's healing, it can be used on pretty much everyone on your team when you hit a snare.
Well, does it have to be Morgana then? Because Morgana's Q is single target.
Yeah.
And also your Dark Binding, like, do you want, not your Dark Binding, your Dark Shield.
Yeah.
Do you actually want to preemptively put it on one of your carries? And then, because what that means is your other carry is just going to get CC'd forever.
Well, that's why you go with Bond of Stone, because then whoever you bind, anyone that autos them, gets the benefit of Ardent Sensor. So might be why Morgana was seeing bans today from Sin. Again, hard to get into their mindset. I respect Bensel a lot, and I know that he would have done some damn good research and obviously found something that I didn't. But just speculating, I'm going to assume that that might be why, you know, Ejim was looking towards it.
But this does mean that Legacy have 3 VODs of Chiefs to review. So let's bring up the Gauntlet because we can talk through yesterday. Sin beat AV 3-2. Today, Chiefs were able to beat Sin 3-0, meaning that Legacy watch these games today before they face off against Chiefs tomorrow. And what that means is Legacy didn't see a lot out of Chiefs because they weren't pushed to 5 games. They didn't have to show anything crazy. I think the TF ban is interesting. We'll see if Legacy continue that tomorrow. But it does mean that Legacy are probably going to have to play standard into this Chiefs standard comp.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're going to want to hide things as well, like both teams. But Legacy might want to try and come in just complete standard, so they can give away as little as possible to Direwolves.
Yeah.
I think that's the optimal way.
Yeah, well, you guys aren't going to be here tomorrow, unfortunately. Presumably, you're going to be flying to Vegas for this boxing match or whatever.
If only. If only.
So let me get your guys' quick predictions for tomorrow. I mean, Vicarious, you've seen Chiefs play. You've seen Legacy play this split. Who do you think's going to win tomorrow?
You know, Chiefs is performing better than I expected. That's why I was saying 3-1 to Chiefs. And then they just 3-0'd.
Yeah.
I'm going to think that Chiefs will take Legacy and they will go to the grand finals against Direwolves.
I'm going to go with Legacy with the caveat that whoever wins out of it, I'm going to pick them in the grand finals.
Oh!
But I've got to go with Legacy because Lost is always impressive, and in the combat between the perfect player and Lost, we're going to see the best ADC crowned, and I'm hoping that it's Lost.
Oh, well, be here tomorrow from 5 p.m. as Legacy take on Chiefs in our 3rd round of the Gauntlet. I'd like to thank Vicarious and T-Gun for being here. I'd like to thank Spawn and Fish for doing our call, Sarah, and for doing our questions, everyone on the production team, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Good night!
And they take him down. The jungler is dead. Swiper comes in. Big Mega Nah. Big Shockwave. And one by one, Sin Gaming's carries are falling. Ryma is in trouble. Rogue's forced to flash away. FBI goes down. And that's a big team fight from the Chiefs. It's massive stuns come through. The Wombo combo for Sin is huge. Somehow FBI still staying in this fight. But look at Ryma. Big swips is in. Big Nah. Boulders to the face. Slaps them down as well. Tommy's still fighting back. Egypt goes low. The grounder comes out. Massive shield from Egypt keeps Raze alive. Clutch plays for the Chiefs. And Raze and Egypt are left to go and take that hit. He's got on top of Dryoma. He just got a solo kill in Sin's base. That should be game. Raze almost kills him inside the fountain. He just stands in between the Nexus and fountain. And with that, the Chiefs, they fight back hard and they take game 1 over Sin.
Counter push once again, Swiper. Oh!
Swiffer flashes forward, knock up from Dokla, and the Lady of the Snakes are dead. Here comes Ryma, Shurima shuffling in. But look at Quinny, Raze with the triple. He wants the quadra, gets it, penta kill picked up for Raze.
He actually kills himself. He stands underneath the turret, but he's out of his chair. Quinn is absolutely popping off.
Dokla jumps in, pops his gargoyle, spooks and
goes FBI.
Big cataclysm coming out from Dokla. He will fall for that one though. Petrifying Gaze locks down both carries. Ryma's in trouble. Rogue's jumping to his side. Juice is gonna fall down. The Nah backwards. The Emperor of Shurima has been taken down. And the Chiefs storm onto the rifts. 3 kills picked up against Sin. They're going for the Nexus. That second Nexus turret is gonna fall down. And with that, the Chiefs, 2 games in a row. They come back from an early game deficit. They take it to Sin. And they are now at match point.
And they're gonna fight.
Bryce Egypt Paul jumps in the backlines. Gets a nice knock up. Charms up 3. Keeps them held there for a while. He'll die, but look at Raze. He gets 1 kill. The rest of Sin want to collapse, but they just can't. Gets Juice around the miasma for the triple charm and knockup. What the heck? Ben Rakan against this man. Great equalizer. Big talk coming out from Swiffer as well. 1 by 1, Sin are going to fall, and that could potentially be game spawn. Ryma's going to jump down as well. Dokla is trying to do something in the backlines. Swiffer somehow lives, gets a heal as well. 4 kills picked up by the Chiefs.
Yeah, and
here, look at Egypt go. Again, straight in the back lines. Everyone dies to this equalizer. And that's all over. With 3 members dead, Baron buff and minions in the base, Jude just dances.
Now, I mean, there's nothing else you can do. Raze is going to look for a cheeky kill, but it will be the Chiefs just picking up the Nexus turrets, and they're going to book El Clasico tomorrow with Legacy.
Chiefs versus Legacy coming up tomorrow. They've done it 3-0 for the Chiefs. They want to represent Oceania, and they're going to try and fight their way through the Gauntlet.